Mick Gleason, President of the Kern County Board of Supervisors. Mr. Gleason, good morning.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. I'm the chairman of the Kern County Board of Supervisors, and it's a pleasure to be here representing Kern County. It's a great opportunity for us to sit back and have a moment to have a dialogue with high-speed rail and the heavy maintenance facility and what its implications are to Kern County. Kern County is very much in favor of the heavy maintenance facility. We recognize, and we've been favored or been listed in your 2009 guidelines for requirements and the O&M requirements in 2013 as if being a favorable site for you to establish your heavy maintenance facility. You said that there were 7 major issues or criteria for selection of the heavy maintenance facility. And I'd like to go down and talk in a broad way about the 7 factors that you might consider for establishing your heavy maintenance facility in Kern County. Then I'm going to pass it off to 2 other individuals, or maybe 3, that are going to talk to you a little more in depth about our government, our educational systems, our industry capabilities, to give you a better understanding of exactly why Kern County is your best choice for the heavy maintenance facility. The 7 factors listed in the O&M guidelines requirements in 2013 and 2009, the first of those is size. You need a large area, you need a lot of space, and Kern County offers that. As a matter of fact, Kern County offers 2 wonderful sites for you to establish your heavy maintenance facility. Each has over 400 acres. Plenty of room for the heavy maintenance facility to go in and establish itself as a leading employer in Kern County. The second criteria listed in your guidelines was affordability. Kern County has 2 sites. The first site being in Shafter. The city manager is here. That site is free. 400 acres donated to high-speed rail. The second site in Wasco has a minimum number of willing sellers, willing and eager to cooperate with the railroad. The third criteria is, is this place that's big, that's 400 acres, that's affordable, donated, is it ready to go? I can assure you that the criteria that was established in 2009 has only gotten stronger in the past 7 years. We have new interchange and roadway improvements along 7th Standard Road, new Shafter rail terminal adjacent to the site, new heavy industrial center, new high-speed fiber optic networks with trunk lines in place, new solar power facility, new airport terminal at Meadows Field, which will connect Bakersfield and high-speed rail to the rest of the country. Planned growth with jobs and housing balance that is right in your swing zone. The fourth factor is location. Where is this heavy maintenance facility to be located? Well, we are right perfectly adjacent to the southern terminus of your IOS. We are also the epicenter of the population densities in California. Ready to go, perfectly situated in Kern County to accommodate population densities. The fifth criteria is, what about your workforce? I have Lauren Skidmore who's going to come up and talk to you a little more in depth about this, but I can assure you that the main industries in Kern County, both oil industry and ag, require a workforce that specializes and is proficient in heavy machinery, which would be, and we also have some of the finest engineers in the world working in the military facilities in Eastern Kern. I assure you we have the workforce. I assure you we have the educational systems that are beginning to be designed, that are designed to align themselves with the employment requirements of Kern County. The sixth decision is environmental. There are no residential or industrial relocations required to move into either site, whether it's Wasco or Shafter in Kern County. There's no historic, biologic, contamination issues that would need to be remediated or mitigated at great cost or dollars to high-speed rail. Both sites are approved by Caltrans Regional Transportation Plan. Both sites meet the state's Sustainable Communities Strategy requirements. For these factors, and the final factor, Kern County is your best place to select a heavy maintenance facility. The last factor is, where do people want us? You got to go where you wanted, right? I don't blame you. Kern County has had a lawsuit against high-speed rail that we are working hard to mitigate, to settle. The reason that is happening is because there is a groundswell of support in Kern County for high-speed rail and for the heavy maintenance facility. We recognize, is that my phone? Shannon Grove. Shannon, not now. We recognize.
I think you should put her on speaker so she can hear what you're saying.
No. We recognize with the downturn in the oil industry and with the difficulties in our ag industry that we recognize that the heavy maintenance facility would immediately be the 7th largest employer in Kern County right off the bat, the day you open your doors. These jobs are real. These jobs are high paying. These jobs are quality jobs, and Kern County wants to compete for those jobs. You'll see through our presentation this morning that there's a groundswell of support that we are going to demonstrate to you and to satisfy your 7th requirement that you want to go to a place that wants you. And we want that heavy maintenance facility. And you know, Kern County excels at bringing large-scale commercial enterprises to fruition in minimum time, under budget, under time. Just go ask Caterpillar that opened a 400,000 square foot distribution center in the Tahone Industrial Park. We're good at this. We understand the permitting requirements. We understand the business-friendly culture, and we're here to support that heavy maintenance facility. Ms. Lauren Skidmore is here, and she's going to make a presentation and give you some insight into our government, our industry, and our educational capabilities. Lauren.
Supervisor, thank you very much. And I was pretty liberal with the clock because you came a long way. You brought a lot of people, and I know you wanted to make a point this morning. We do have a lot of speakers, so I would just ask if your other speakers, I knew you were giving the top level thing, if your other speakers could try to keep it contained, that'd be appreciated. But Supervisor, thank you very much for your presentation.
Isn't there a 2-minute limit? I will be brief. Chairman Richards, member of the board, my name is Lauren Skidmore, and I am chair of a newly innovative group called Kern for HMF. Kern for HMF is a coalition of local individuals, businesses, government entities, and educational institutions who strongly support the location of the high-speed train heavy maintenance facility in Kern County. We represent tens of thousands of supportive allies. Individual organizations include Bakersfield Association of Realtors, Kern Economic Development Corporation, Kern Taxpayers Association, Kern Citizens for Sustainable Government, Kern Home Builders Association, Kern Transportation Foundation, all of our local chambers, the local IBEW, and our educational entities, CSU Bakersfield, which has an electrical engineering degree and simulator to train students. Bakersfield College has a new Bachelor's of Industrial Automation degree. Kern High School District has Ag and Diesel Mechanics Center, as well as a strong STEM-related program. I'm speaking to you today because I know that the facility holds enormous potential to bring jobs and economic opportunity to our region and to the rest of California. I want to welcome each of you to Kern County, and you will see we have a lot of representatives from Kern County here today. They have all been signed up to be a part of the public comment to share with you from an individual organization perspective what they can do for you and why they would like you to join us in Kern County. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Skidmore. Next, Scott Hurlbert from City of Shafter. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Good to see you, Mr. Richards. I will be even more brief. Just want to echo what the supervisor and Lauren have said this morning. We do have two of the best sites technically under consideration at this point. There's plenty of room. There is adjacent industrial activity, and you do have two very interested communities here. Our council has passed a resolution giving full support to this Kern for HMF organization, and really here today to just reaffirm that, point out that we do have the space, we do have the workforce, and And we're no slouches at large projects either. We've permitted and overseen the construction of over 3 million square feet of industrial space within our jurisdiction just within the last 24 months. So this project is something we're very comfortable with, and we ask that you take a good close look at Kern County. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hurlbut. Paul Paris from the City of Wasco. Good morning,
Thank you,
sir.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is J. Paul Paris. I am the city manager for the City of Wasco, and I appreciate this opportunity to go and speak to the board. This is a collaborative effort by and between our sister cities to secure the HMF. The benefits to our cities and the county are enormous and can be supported by our labor force. This labor force has extensive experience in both in ag, oil, and energy, skills that will translate well for the HSRA and HMF. We're an affordable community, and the HSRA will enjoy the support of both city councils, as mentioned by my colleague Scott Hurlbut. We welcome the opportunity to work with the board to demonstrate why the Kern County sites and their cities are the best choices for the HSRA, and we look forward to working with you in the future to go ahead and make this a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Paris. John Spalding, from Kern County Building Trades.
Good morning, Chairman Richard and members of the board. I'm John Spalding, Executive Secretary of the Kern, Inyo, and Mono Counties Building and Construction Trades Council, representing nearly 8,000 building and construction workers, men and women. Together with the Kern, Inyo, Mono CLC, we represent nearly 35,000 AFL-CIO members, which are supportive of locating the HMF in Kern County. At the present time, we have over 500 indentured apprentices for the construction industry. Our training programs are equal with the best anywhere in the United States. And the heavy maintenance facility will offer an opportunity for many of those who will take their skills in another direction rather than construction. One of the many attributes of the high-speed rail is clean transportation. The state of California is at the forefront of this training, or at this thinking. Together with the drop in oil prices, many of Kern County oil workers are finding themselves out of work. Fortunately, the skills for their career in the oil fields will provide an opportunity to compete for the construction industry or the heavy maintenance facility permanent jobs. They, like their brothers and sisters in the construction industry, know how to work hard, work safe, drug-free, skilled, and be ready to work 24/7. Just like the heavy maintenance facility will require. We collaborate our training with Cal State Bakersfield College, Kern County Workforce and Investment Board, and Kern County High School Vocational and Adult Education. Together with the Fresno, Madera, Tulare Kings Building Trades Council and the Fresno WIB Board and our WIB Board, we have graduated 2 pre-apprenticeship programs with a third scheduled for April. I and many of our construction trades leaders are members of the WIB Board. Kern County has several small cities that would welcome an opportunity to know that their men and women and veterans have an opportunity for a new career. The unemployment in these communities are above average, and these permanent jobs will provide a future. Not only do we welcome the HMF, we have a need for the additional opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you. And John, it was a pleasure meeting you the other day in Sacramento at the meeting, so just wanted to welcome. Thank you for coming up. Next is Rob Ball from Kern County COG.
Thank you, Chair and board members. Kern COG has been quietly planning for the HMF since 2009. We have submitted the 2 sites, and as well as in those applications, since we've submitted those, we have added both sites to our sustainable community strategy in our regional transportation plan. We are also, I have today in your packet a letter from the Kern COG board approved unanimously to support the Kern for HMF effort. And I just want to emphasize that it's important when citing the HMF that you cite that at that location that's going to require the lowest operating cost over the long term for the system. And that's at the geographic center of the ultimate system. And so we encourage you to consider these sites as you move forward. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Paul. Cheryl Scott, Kern County Economic Development Corporation.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. So now I am Vice President at Current Economic Development Corporation, but I spent almost 2 decades working in transportation as I managed marketing, planning, and customer service at Golden Empire Transit in Bakersfield, California. So I've been following this project before it was a project, along with a lot of people here. As you know, the role of an EDC in part is to promote a region to businesses that are looking to relocate or expand, and Kern County has been gaining a lot of attention across the country as being a very cost-effective and business-friendly place to site large-scale private projects. As Supervisor Gleason said, the 400,000 square foot Caterpillar Distribution Center is a perfect example. In late 2011, the company decided to build in Kern County. 8 months later, it was up and running. That's because of elected officials like Supervisor Gleason, who have created a business-friendly culture and encouraged their project development teams to move projects along quickly and smoothly. The Kern County features that appeal to private business are very relevant in the case of the HMF as well. I won't belabor the point. You've heard what our greatest features are, but I'd like to say that choosing Kern County, we know it will benefit Kern County, but it will also be a benefit to the entire system as a whole and to California taxpayers as well. We'd like to invite you to come down to Kern County, take a look at the 2 proposed sites, but also take a look at the other projects already in place, see what we've already accomplished in partnership with private business, and see the type of partnership we'd like to establish with the High-Speed Rail Authority. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jennifer Patino, Cal State University, Bakersfield. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Chairman Richard and esteemed members of the board. My name is Jennifer Patino, and I'm from California State University, Bakersfield, where I am the Director of Professional Development Programs in the Extended University Division. Within the last year, we have provided training and education related to the high-speed rail to approximately 120 tradesmen and women who are underemployed. You may be aware that these trainings were taught in partnership with the High-Speed Rail Authority and had instructors such as Rod Diradon, Terry Ogle, Michael Gillum, and the man to my left, John Popoff, just to name a few.
You were doing well until then.
I didn't know John was going to be here until I saw him, and I was like, hey, always good to name drop. The training the students received will provide them with a better employment opportunities and quality of life. These men and women are now looking at a time where they can use their knowledge to further California and Kern County in a way that will benefit their families, our communities, and the economy. We at CSU Bakersfield have received a high-speed rail train simulator. And in fact, in March, CSR will be out to install it. In fact, we will be the only place in all of the nation to have this. We plan to use the simulator to educate the next generation of engineers on how to control these trains. We are very excited about the prospect of the heavy maintenance facility coming to Kern County. We look forward to continuing our relationship with the High-Speed Rail Authority and partnering on more projects. We can see the potential amount of education, training, support services, and growth the facility can provide for our area. CSU Bakersfield wants to be a part of the change that needs to take place in California, and the possibility of providing quality education to the workforce of the future is all a part of our master plan. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And for the record, we love John Popoff, so he does a great job. Donna Carpenter from the Kern Transportation Foundation.
CSU, Bakersfield.
Good morning, Chairman and Board. My name is Donna Carpenter. I'm here wearing a few hats today. I'm with SOMAS, Civil Engineering Surveying and Planning Firm, but I'm representing the Kern County Home Builders Association and also the Kern Transportation Foundation today. You wonder what home builders have to do with transportation. Actually, our home builders in Kern County are very involved in transportation, and we're active in the preparation of our sustainable community strategy, which includes the heavy maintenance facilities, as Rob Ball mentioned. So our sites are AB 32 and SB 375 compliant, which is a great thing. The Kern Transportation Foundation, we're the education arm of our local MPO, Kern COG, and we educate the public on all things transportation. So we look forward to partnering with you to educate our community not only on the high-speed rail project, but the heavy maintenance facility as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Supervisor Gleason, I think that's all the speakers that I have from your group. I want to thank you and your colleagues from Kern County. I know it's a long trip. We're trying to make that trip easier. So thank you all very much for coming today and presenting to us. We appreciate it. Continuing on with other public comments, Charles Follett from Santa Monica, followed by Paul Dyson.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and board, and welcome my fellow Los Angeles County residents to the board. I think that's great. We're well represented in our county, the home of Union Station. My name is Charles Follett. I am from Santa Monica, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you today. First, I would like to say that I am a strong supporter of the job that all of you and Governor Brown are doing to make high-speed rail a reality in California. I have had the opportunity to travel on the TGV in France, the ICE in Holland and Germany, and the Shinkansen bullet train in Japan. Because of my actual onboard experience, I realize the positive impact that high-speed rail will have on our state. My concern is that with the naysayers' ever-present voice getting louder, we need to strongly consider additional options that will bring down the cost of the system, expedite construction completion, and maximize safety. I feel that the recent suggestion that HSR, or high-speed rail, initially connect from Central Valley to the north is perhaps something that should be looked at. My argument today and my advice to you is pertaining to the Palmdale-Santa Clarita alignment from Bakersfield to Los Angeles. It has a total of 36 miles of tunneling, which is doubled to 72 miles considering a double-track system. This will cost tens of billions of dollars and take decades to build. These transverse ranges of the Tehachapi and San Gabriel Mountains have both vertical strike, slip, and thrust faults, yielding very difficult to bore through fractured mixed rock, and present an ever-present earthquake threat, raising safety concerns. The grade and elevation changes will restrict average speed through the mountains to 110 miles per hour, about 1/2 normal speed for the high-speed rail. We need to look at a whole new alignment from Bakersfield to Los Angeles. And upon much appraisal, I suggest the following alternative. Upon departing Bakersfield, travel southwest, not southeast, follow State Route 166 past Maricopa through the Cuyama Valley and the Los Padres National Forest to Santa Maria. From here, travel to the already established alignment with station stops in Santa Barbara, Ventura County, and the Los Angeles Union Station. The benefits is that it's much more favorable geologic and topographic conditions and will limit the number of tunnels and viaducts needed, thus speeding construction and greatly lowering cost and safety concerns. Increased ridership revenue with Morro Bay, Pismo Beach, San Luis Obispo, and other attractive destinations. With established alignment and less treacherous route, competitive travel time with the Palmdale-Santa Clarita alignment. I urge you to take a look at this possibility going west from Bakersfield down the existing alignment through Santa Barbara and Ventura Counties to Union Station. I think it has a great deal of merit, will speed up construction, and reduce costs greatly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Follett. Thank you for coming here today.
You're welcome.
Paul Dyson, followed by Frank Oliveira. Morning, Mr. Dyson.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Paul Dyson, President of the Rail Passengers Association of California, which since 1978 has been campaigning as an all-volunteer group for a modern passenger rail system in California, and we strongly support this project. Given the current status of construction and the desire to run trains as soon as possible, we do support giving priority to construction northward, which would provide an initial operating segment from Bakersfield to San Francisco. This would tie in with Caltrain electrification and serve important markets such as San Jose and San Francisco Airport. However, it's equally important that we press on with ensuring that facilities are made ready in Southern California before high-speed rail is constructed. An interim terminus in Burbank is unacceptable. I'd remind members of the board that Alhambra has been the interim terminus of the 710 freeway for 50 years, and we don't want to be sold on the interim termini. Thank you very much. Trains need to be ready to serve. Trains need to serve Union Station and preferably Orange County as soon as the line is open through the mountains. I therefore urge you to record a positive vote on item 4 on the agenda this morning, to work in concert with LAC MTA to modernize Union Station and to complete the SCRIP project, which is, in our opinion, the most important single infrastructure project in Southern California for passenger rail. Finally, you need to start thinking really soon about ordering some rolling stock so that you have trains once the track is laid. And I hope it will be built in a factory not too far from this building. Thank you.
Subtle. Thank you, Mr. Dyson. Frank Oliveira, followed by Ted Hart. Good morning.
Good morning. Frank Oliveira, Citizens for California High-Speed Rail Accountability. In November, we brought to your attention that you had not, as a board, you had not publicly explained the request for expressions of interest that you had requested companies in the high-speed rail transportation construction arena to provide you. It's our understanding that this was done to solicit ideas to improve the project. We've asked since November, December, and January, why did these companies, many of these companies, express that they would need subsidies or guarantees, revenue guarantees, to operate this system, when that hasn't been explained and that isn't viable or legal through Prop 1A? None of these companies expressed that they would provide private funding to you. Many expressed concerns about funding. You haven't explained this. Would you please do that today? Thank you.
Okay, next, Mr. Ted Hart, followed by Karen Stout.
Good morning. I'd like to welcome the 2 new board members. It's pretty much an exciting time. My issue has been continually that of trying to determine what the overall cost the entire state system amounts to. We've been unable to get this number. I did meet or talk with both Dan and Tom prior to the meeting. I understand that this information will not be in the draft, but they are looking forward to seeing what might be done, and I have some suggestions on that. But the thing I want to take you back to is that this is a requirement under the PUC code 185033 that this number must be put forward to the public. And it's very clear. It says each segment and combination thereof. And I know you're all aware of it. The 2 new board members might not be. And as attorneys, you may want to look carefully at that. I think that it's important because I know that having been involved with this rail system for so many years, the first question that's always asked of any people that are involved with it is, how much is this going to cost? We need to get that number out there. And so my recommendation and suggestion to you is that I recognize that it's very difficult to pick a hard number, but if you go back into the history of what we've had in the past, that has been a low number and a high number. That was done away with, and I would suggest that you may consider taking a good look at that, because I think it could accomplish what you need as far as putting a number out there. You put a low number and a high number, and that would satisfy probably everybody. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mr. Hart. Before Ms. Stout comes up, let me just help explain to our two new board members what Mr. Hart is referring to. In past business plans, well, the Prop 1A refers to a Phase 1 and a Phase 2. Phase 1 is San Francisco to LA, Anaheim, and Phase 2, as Ms. Schenk knows very, very well, it consists of a further extension from Los Angeles to San Diego and a further extension from Merced up to Sacramento. And because the Bond Act also says we cannot spend money on Phase 2 projects until Phase 1 is completed. So we have focused on Phase 1 and the cost of Phase 1, and I won't comment on it further, but just to explain that the issue that Mr. Hart is raising is that he'd like to see in our forthcoming business plan an explication of the full cost of the system as fully built out, both Phase 1 and Phase 2. Mr. Hart, I think that that's an accurate description of what you're asking. And so this is something the staff is looking at. Vice Chair Richards has been looking at as well. And whether we can get this done in the draft or the final, we certainly will respect the issue that he's raised, since he's raised a legal issue, and we'll take a look at it. So I just wanted to explain that for folks. I'm sorry, Ms. Stout, thank you for your patience. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Karen Stout, and I'm from Kings County. I am a member of the Citizens of California for High-Speed Rail Accountability. Let's see. You have trouble figuring out how to get from Bakersfield to Palmdale. You don't know what to do with the difference in elevation and with your needed speed. So you scrap the south and you turn your sights on the north. I'm trying to figure out what your strategy is. I guess if you take a shotgun approach, you can scatter buckshot all over the map, the route, and you don't need a plan. You just mess up a number of different areas and you call that progress. That is not progress. That is flexing your muscles without a well thought out purpose. When or if you come up with a project that makes sense to accomplish your original goal put forth by Proposition 1A in 2008 by moving people quickly from San Francisco to Los Angeles in a straighter line, meaning the shortest distance between 2 points, along a major transportation corridor without being subsidized will be the time that you get continuous properties to really construct something California can use.
Thank you, Ms. Stout. Ross Browning, followed by Robert Allen.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, board members. Ross Browning from Kings County. I'm hearing the same thing today that I've heard before. People coming up, asking questions, specific, some are general, but they're asking for answers to some questions that are bothering them. Not only them, the community as a whole, and other people along the state. I asked this board, perhaps it's time to answer some of these questions. It's long past due to answer some of these questions. That would go a long way to ensure the transparency that this board says that they are providing in this project. And it would stop the acrimonious actions and finger pointing and back and forth that took place at the last meeting. So I ask you to consider taking some time and asking or answering some of the questions that are asked. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Browning. Robert Allen, followed by Melissa Romero.
In my advancing years, I do not hear very much what's going on. I turn 90 next month, and I've served 14 years on a board such as yours, which governed the operations of a railroad which carries about 400,000 people every day. That railroad has had problems with the Public Utilities Commission. The California Public Utilities Commission has safety oversight responsibility over railroad operations, particularly over grade crossings. And I strongly object to having, I think that they will probably object to having grade crossings of high-speed rail, such as Splendid Rail proposes. I've had two examples where we, as a public board, have dealt with the Public Utilities Commission, where they were concerned about safety, and we had to bear the cross on it. One was where we had a fire in the Transbay Tube in 1979. And for 3 long months, over 3 months, the California Public Utilities Commission would not let BART operate through the Transbay Tube until everything was just perfect. They wanted to be concerned about our safety. The other situation where we dealt with the Public Utilities Commission, there was a strike. Some people were working along the track on what they called simple approval. Simple approval is a place where people do trackside work on a railroad. That type of thing has been going on since the early days of railroading. We would get a lineup. We would have permission to get onto the railroad property following safety rules. 2 individuals did not do that, and they were killed by a train. The Public Utilities Commission completely overturned safety approval, which, as I say, is the type of trackside governing, and set forth their own rules. I urge you to be aware of the safety which the railroad crossings and engineering branch of the Public Utilities Commission might bring forth, that you not try to operate high-speed rail in the Caltrain corridor until it is completely grade separated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Melissa Romero, followed by Leanne Eager.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm here representing the environmental group Californians Against Waste, and we are in support of recommendations to revise the sustainability policy in order to optimize sustainability of construction materials and expansion of greenhouse gas mitigation and reduction. Using more recycled materials will help meet short and long-term greenhouse gas reduction goals for the high-speed rail program, and recycling concrete and steel, as well as diverting other waste from landfills through composting, both during construction and after completion, will significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions both for the project and for the entire state. And so I urge you to vote in favor of these recommended revisions to the sustainability policy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Romero. Leanne Eager, I was going to call you up as part of the Kern County Heavy Maintenance Facility Delegation. I was sure that's what you wanted to do.
Well, good morning. Actually, I wanted to start by welcoming my friends from Kern County here. We've been working together a long time, right? I've met with most of them. Fresno Works, as you all know, has been up and running in support of high-speed rail since 2009. And I've been meeting with almost everybody in this group in hopes that they would also have a group that supports high-speed rail. Their group is a little bit different, but they're on their way. And I'm sure I don't have to explain to you all what Fresno has to offer, because we've come here many times. So the 750 acres that Fresno has, and the $25 million that Fresno has, and the training that the county has said that they will do for all of the folks who would work at the maintenance facility. And Fresno State, in the fall, will have an engineering program that specializes in high-speed rail. I'm sure I don't have to talk about all that, right? Because you all already know that. So welcome to my friends from Kern County. I think Supervisor Perea and I have been coming to these meetings. We decided that in the last 6 years, one or the other of us have been here all but 2 meetings. So it's nice to have others here. But besides that, good luck to y'all. I would like to tell you quickly the exciting things, though, that are going on in Fresno. We have actual construction. I have people coming in saying, hey, did you know high-speed rail actually started? I said, no, I didn't know that. I'll be darned. So we have things built. We have the Tuolumne Bridge that every day I walk by and another piece is gone. It's absolutely amazing. But because of that, we have a lot of interest now from our local companies, which I know we have been saying for 6 years that we want our local companies to get involved and start getting excited about this. But I think now that they see the construction, they really are. And so next month, the Fresno EDC, the County of Fresno, and the Dragados team is going to put on an event to have our companies come and learn about what the opportunities are. The county is going to be there because they're willing to train all of those folks who would work for these companies for free. And so we do have this program that we're putting together to be able to get folks invigorated again about high-speed rail in Fresno. So on behalf of Fresno County, Fresno Works, Supervisor Perea and Mayor Swearingen, who have been supporters of the project, not just the maintenance facility, we want to thank you, and we look forward to continuing to work with you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Eager. Our last speaker for the public session is Roland LeBrun. And sir, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to talk to you before the meeting, but I certainly will be available after to do that. So good morning.
Thank you, Chair, and no, that will not be necessary because I have actually decided that rather than have a conversation in private, I will have it in public.
All right.
The way this started is this contract that you awarded last year for $700 million. I believe it was in Los Angeles. And I was very concerned because you know who you appointed and you know what's going on in Central Valley right now. And thank God Mr. Rossi is keeping an eye on this. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets any better. But I want to talk to you about the other people that I'm extremely familiar with. There were initially 4 companies that came across each other somewhere inside the Channel Tunnel, and they learned to work with each other. The next project was the Channel Tunnel Rail Link. That was $9 billion, including $2 billion refurbished in St. Pancras. That was the very first ever mega project in the UK that was delivered on time and on budget. They then moved on to Crossrail, which currently is the largest infrastructure project in Europe. They will deliver it in 2018 for $22.5 billion on time and on budget. Right now, they're working on High-Speed 2, the link between London and Birmingham. Essentially what they're going to do is to deliver LA to San Diego in 10 years for $30 billion on time and on budget. So where am I going with this? There are some very good rumors right now that you're about to turn your attention to the peninsula. What I'm respectfully asking is that you consider appointing a different RDP for the peninsula that will not only deliver the project on time and on budget, but also make it compliant with the Bond Act, which is right now, you're not even close, okay? These people know how to link the Transbay Terminal to Derriden in 30 minutes. And then after that, basically let the best team win, but at least give people who know what they are doing a chance. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Merlin.